If you want to join the ex-military vehicles club, you can join on www.aamvcs.org.au.
And also, you can find parts from MV Spares, which is selling J parts. You can find parts from Matherin Spares, who's got yard stocks, repos, originals. And you can also find parts from Mill Spares, who also sell Dodge parts as well, and J parts.
Oh. Definitely get this engine running. Spare engine for my D60 Dodge. World War II. I want to make sure there's sparks. So
ready.
Side.
Okay.
Side.
Okay, sir, we are ready for sparks. Take one.
Sparks? What's
I said sparks.
Oh, I thought you said sparks. It's not fair. Forget it.
Okay, test.
Checks for sparks. That's got sparks?
Yeah.
I don't see sparks on this one.
Yeah, I can see sparks on that one. That one's got sparks.
No sparks in number one.
Try.
I'm going to try number two. Sparks in number two.
It's probably because it's got paint on it.
Come on, come closer. Sparks.
Spark.
Yeah, hold it and crank it. Ah! 6-volt works! Oh, I just made a spark. That's good. So I'm just wondering why number one's got no sparks.
Okay, so bunk. Hang on.
Hang on, let me try to swap it over.
I don't think that's a good idea, sir.
It'll work fine. You
Oh.
can test it over.
Test.
It's got sparks now, so that means that this is not getting grounding.
You need this.
Yeah, this better. I bend it because this is the old school style. I love old school. So you can put it there, you can unscrew it, or you could turn it there, get another spanner, like that. Then you can turn it easier. So I wonder why this has got no sparks.
Okay, open her up.
It's a brand new plug.
Big tube of sparks.
Ah, sparks! Yep.
Okay.
So there's something wrong with that spark plug. Oh yeah, there's oil pressure.
No.
Go. You snap off the starter. So now I have to take the 6-volt starter out and put a 12-volt starter in it from the command car. I bought this engine up in Queensland because I had no spare engines for my weapons carrier because my second Dodge broke down on the way home from Coral. Which somewhere past the hours, I just heard this loud grinding noise up the hill. It's just like this. And I was like, what? I pulled over straight away. Brakes sitting there on the on the side of the freeway, and I looked at the gauge. Temperature is 140. Fuel, half tank. Oil pressure showing 0, but I could feel the engine still running. But I had a feeling it's hitting. It feels like it's firing in one cylinder and then returns back. So I have a feeling that the crankshaft is doing this. So I turn it off. A couple of guys with their military vehicles pull over to give me a hand what's going on with it. And I come to try cranking. All I heard is just 3 clicks. And that's it. And I started when it was stuck, it started smoking. I couldn't pull the foot pedal back in, so I had to straight away disconnect the battery. So I spent 300 and something for tow truck to drop it off the farm. The next day, my brother-in-law and my dad pulled the sump out. He see one connecting rod is just hanging off. He touched it, it fell off. Then the second one was loose, really loose. And actually, the first one was actually not in there, it was in the sump. The second connecting rod was just loose. The third connecting rod was only holding one side of the bolt, just hanging. And 4, 5, 6 were fine. But by the time he emptied the sump, he grabbed something. It was a piece. He said, "What's this?" And I said to her, "Dad, that's a camshaft." And he looked in there, shows it to us, then he said something else too. He touched it and another piece fell down. It was the second piece of the camshaft. So the connecting rod came off, the piston hit right into the oil block, the oil pressure line. So it lost oil pressure, so the oil was just pissing straight back to the sump instead of going to all this mechanism. And the second one actually came off, the second piston, and hit the camshaft in 3 pieces. And the guy wanted we took it to the mechanic shop, they wanted $800 just to fill up a tiny little hole. And I'm like, what? The medic goes, "Nah, we'll get the engine off the other truck," which was my first whippers car. Took it out, took it to the shop, and I spent $9.5 grand fully rebuilt. Ridiculous.
Okay, the piston, these are the piston that was on the engine. You can see the first piston has all the damage on top, all the dents, and that was the one that hit the camshaft in 3 pieces. And then you got the other piston that was just loose connecting on, by just rattling on the crankshaft and the damage crack on it. Then the third piston was the one that came off and hit the oil block. Yeah, oil pressure line. Yeah, we're looking at the camshaft that was in it, and that's the camshaft that the first piston broke off. Yeah, I couldn't find the second piece. It's just buried somewhere. So you got the first piece and the third piece, but I couldn't find the one between it. Yeah, they snapped it off real hard. An old spare camshaft I have.
And then I was looking for a motor to put back in my first Dodge, which was that. And I heard a story that this engine, owned by someone who was selling parts somewhere in Sydney, and he passed away. And then his wife got someone to dig the ground in the backyard and buried more than 3 Dodge engines and all your old stock parts for Jeeps, for Dodge, for Studebakers, buried in the ground. I have no idea how deep. He was saying something about that deep from there. Then one guy from the Queensland Ex-Military Vehicles Club came and had a chat with his wife, which was a couple of months later or something. And then his wife got, "Oh yeah." So he managed to dig out and save 2 engines and half of the new stock parts, and brought it up to Queensland. And then this was the motor I bought off him. And yes, it was definitely covered in dirt inside the engine. So spent my whole butt cleaning this whole thing and pulling everything apart. It was complete. It was definitely worn out the crankshaft. I needed a 0.12. Wait a minute. 0.012. So yeah, and that one was selling 0.012. They only had 0.015, 0.09. So yeah, and a couple. But the thing is, there's a date. 7/17/44. Yeah. These cylinders. What's all that?